Because I mean, how many people out there, go off to work every day and I love you, babe, and then they talk bad about their spouse, they do things behind their spouse's back, they, whatever. So I've always been one about action, and that was one of my biggest challenges, even in that relationship. But after many months and years of saying, hey, can we try to work on this with action? I think that's part of what my leaving and the kind of not reconciliation, but the the coming to terms, the coming to peace with things, has done. I think it took the razor blades that were spinning inside of her for literally 30 years now. When you talk about her history, and she's kind of seen the light, and via action is doing something about it for her. And as a friend, that makes me very, very happy and proud of somebody, because so many people don't go and get the help that they need and they deserve. And you probably have to ask yourselves that. How many people are in your life that would benefit from whatever it might be, stopping drinking, or if they're into drugs and stopping drugs, or if they have anger issues, going and speaking to somebody that could help them with their anger issues, or if they have other whatever insecurity or anxiety or separation or low self-esteem. How many people would benefit by owning it and talking about it? And that's half the problem. That person with low self-esteem, and I'm going to point the finger at me right now because this was me for many years. I'm a pretty tall guy. I'm 6'4", and something about height that when you walk into a room, it just has a presence. But I would walk into a room and people, I mean, part of it was I played pretend. A lot of us play pretend out there. So I would play pretend and carry myself as this guy that's got all my shit together and had, I don't want to say swagger. I never think I had swagger, but carry myself like I had it all together and things were good, and I got this, and weakness or insecurity is somebody else's problem. When the truth of the matter was inside, I guarantee you I was the most insecure person in that room. And I don't mean insecure in a jealous rage kind of lunatic way, but just insecure with who I was, what I wanted to be, not really knowing who I was. But it took owning that. Like I said, it'll take that alcoholic to own it. It'll take that person with low self-esteem or with anger issues or whatever to own it, to say, look, I have this. If you don't have that, if you don't own that you have it, all you're doing is playing pretend for the rest of the world, and it'll never get better. So, right now, ask yourselves, how many of you are that person? How many of you know somebody that's person? And again, that's kind of back to pointing the thumb. You need to be able to know and own who you are to get yourself to a better place. If you're in denial about who you are the whole time and you want to play pretend, the world can only help you by what you portray, right? I had an example of somebody I knew that was, I don't know, I'm just rambling today, but it's doing good for me. So if you guys are tuned out by now, I get it. This is just kind of helping me kind of decompress as the daylight comes up behind me. Not sunshine, but daylight anyway. But I had this person that had a drinking problem, and it was funny. People care, so they would, periodically say, "Hey, how's that going?" And they were embarrassed to admit that it wasn't going well. So what they would do is they would say, "No, man, it's going great." So they pretended, and the other folks that wanted to help couldn't have helped any more than the information you're given, right? So if they're being told, hey, everything's great and they haven't touched a drink in 2 months, then that's great. They're supportive, they pat you on the back, and they give you some false accolades that aren't really deserved. And that person in a moment gets high and feels good about themselves as, wow, I got them fooled. So if that person isn't come clean and honest with who they are, they're never going to be able to heal and get the help or improve and so forth. And maybe that's what these videos are for me, my own way of healing and improving. So guys, I did want to do something. I'm running long today, so this is going to be a 3-parter, but I know people are tuned out. I'm going to do another quick one that I'm going to post first. So actually, when I publish these things, I can schedule them. That's what I'm going to do. Actually, I can't schedule the YouTubes. So I'm going to do one first, and then I'm going to play these. This is almost going to be a three-parter, believe it or not. It looks like I'm running over 30 minutes here. So YouTube usually goes about 15-minute increments. My game plan for today, well, I'm gonna tell it later. Anyway, guys, thanks for listening. Kira, Landon, Grace, Heather, enjoy the show, guys. I love you so much. Enjoy Macklemore in Downtown. I got a couple of those songs I like by him, but I'll be playing him on the radio today. I'm on my phone. Heading across Ohio. I'm kind of in the eastern section of it. Heading towards, eventually, I'll be going through a town called Mansfield in the next week. Things are okay. Things are good. A lot of apprehension. Like I said, after today, this will be the last time I really see a familiar face for the next 4.5 months. You know, and that's a little bit scary for me. You know, I know that our military people go through this, and they do it for something and a reason that brings great honor, and I have a different respect for those folks now. I always respected what they did, but just this, you know, kissing your family goodbye and going off to somewhere where you're not going to see a familiar face for quite some time. I think maybe the only difference is that their unit, their regiment, then becomes familiar faces to them, where I'm seeing nothing but Middle America and hopefully some new faces every day. But yeah, so this whole long-winded spiel today was to let you know that you know, there's some apprehension coming. There's some big days ahead for me. I've tried to teach some lessons in there. I tried to let the newcomers know a little bit about why I did this, and how I did this, and then some of the folks that kind of compelled me to do this. I also wanted to kind of make sure that people understand what point to thumb means. I don't think enough people, and maybe I don't do a good enough job of expressing that when I meet people. I just tell them I'm on this journey and I'm walking across the country, and that kind of sounds like a neat idea, but you know, there's a mission to what I'm doing. You know, I want us all, and when I leave these these videos, to ask yourselves every day. I mean, if we all wake up each day and just say, hey, look, I'm gonna look for one moment today where I'm gonna point the thumb at myself when I didn't before, and it doesn't have to be anything monumental. I think we'll all be a better place, and that's really what I want to hope to get to, and that's going to be the message I hope to start to carry across as well. One of the things I'll be doing today, after getting started, maybe is trying to find, like I said, a church out this way as well. So tomorrow